practical guidance, intouch.org is here to help you grow closer to God. Discover truth that speaks to your heart. Visit intouch.org today. Thanks.
Only a few short months ago, you heard silver was up 40%. Well, silver is now up over 260%. Fox Valley Coins saw it coming, and they're ready to help. Unlike dealers that only buy or only sell, Fox Valley Coins does both. No middleman. That means you get the best deal on the dollar. Selling, Fox Valley Coins pays top dollar for rare coins, scrap gold and silver, bars, proof sets, and entire collections of any size, going through every item right in front of you, cash, check, or wire transfer. Buying, Fox Valley Coins carries all major gold, silver, and platinum physical products. Complete discretion. Your business stays your business. Fox Valley Coins, family-owned integrity since 1981. On Route 59, one light north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. Fox Valley Coins. Buy smart, sell smart.
For months, you've been hearing ads about Virago immune support. I have to tell you, this stuff is for real. I had an occasion to not be feeling well on a remote broadcast. I took it, and it is the real deal. And the stronger your immune system, the stronger your body defends against diseases, viruses, and everything else. That's why Dr. Huber created Virago, a liquid immune booster supplement. You take it daily. It's a blend of 23 nutraceuticals working in synergy to maximize effects and boost your immune system. It's the nutraceutical cocktail for an immune system, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. Virago even protects your heart, your kidneys, your liver, all in a unique liquid supplement for better absorption. Do yourself and your spouse a favor. Order a bottle of Virago today online at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Maha and Virago, making America healthy again.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldilocks, offering 24/7 security solutions for homes and businesses. Call them today at 708-889-5600.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Everybody's talking about it. A mass shooting in Iowa City, Iowa, Sunday morning at 1:45 a.m. as all the bars were coming out. A fist fight started outside of Wells Fargo Bank. It's in the pedestrian mall area. The fight got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then shots were fired. We know for sure, according to the University of Iowa president, Barbara Wilson, that 3 of the 5 people that were injured, 3 shot, are University of Iowa students. Now, on social media, you could see the fight. You could see the melee. It's disgusting.
You
As an
can
Iowa
see
alum,
who they're looking for.
Oh, yeah. They are looking currently for 5 suspects. From what I've been told from my sources, I do not believe that they are University of Iowa students, that they were there visiting. They could be. I talked to the PR person for Iowa City Police Department this morning, just got off the phone with them. No suspects are in custody still. We know that they're still looking for them. And I said, could they be from Chicago or from Cedar Rapids or from Des Moines or Davenport? And he said, all I'm telling you is that we want media in the Midwest to put their pictures out there.
Well, they're out there. I mean, I saw it multiple times posted on X. 5 suspects, all black males.
Yeah. And so, I mean, but if you see their picture, if you know them, you know who they are.
Sure.
I mean, you could see their very clear surveillance pictures of these individuals. And we do know of 1 of the 5 that were injured. 1 is in critical condition. The rest are unstable. I do know from an eyewitness, and we are going to speak with an eyewitness who actually almost got shot, that there was 1 white student walking around with a leg wound, and he was bleeding out. And because what happened was people were walking out of the bars, and somebody whipped out a gun. And I know that 21 shots were fired because I was at the scene yesterday because I was in Iowa City for the weekend.
I was thinking about you when this happened. I'm like, what? I want to hear from Amy.
And they had 21 evidence markers up. So when I talked to the police chiefs, I'm like, does that mean 21 rounds were fired? And he said, I can't answer that. And I said, well, I used to be a reporter, so I know what that means. But so joining us on the line.
What do you mean you used to be a reporter?
I'm in Iowa City.
Okay. Oh, got it. Okay.
And in Chicago. So I've seen.
Yes, a crime scene or two.
Yeah, just a tad bit of them. Let's welcome to the program Ethan. He is a student at University of Iowa. Ethan, thank you so much for joining us. And first of all, I'm glad you're safe. And just, you almost got shot.
Yeah, I mean, it all just happened so fast. I didn't really even realize it until I got home. I mean, just the gun was so close to my head. I mean, my ear was ringing for a good 45 minutes that night.
So you were at the Union, right? And everybody leaves the bar around 1:45. Just walk us through what happened.
I mean, we're all just walking back. We get to like the Pedmalt area by the brothers, by the reunion, and we're walking down, and we got there towards the end of the fight. So, I mean, that whole brawl thing that I saw in videos online, I didn't even see that in person. But we got there. There was a little bit of a fight going, but everybody got pulled back. So, my friends kept walking. I slowed down a little bit, and then everybody got pulled back, and I was like, okay, it's resolved. Usually when I see a fight, it's, like a 1 minute thing. People pull each other back, and it's done. That's how I thought this one was going to go. But I guess one of the guys got away, pushed a guy. The guy got pushed into me. I got bumped, so I turn around, and the guy that got pushed into me was the shooter. I turn around and I watch him pull out the gun, watch him shoot, and I was so close. He basically shot right over my shoulder.
And he shot into somebody else. What, 3 times, 3 rounds?
Yeah, what I saw. Yeah, I mean, and I just saw the 3 shots, and then everything else after that just was a blur. I mean, I turned around and started running. I watched the girl fall over, turned around, picked her up. And when I looked up after I helped the girl up, I just saw a body on the floor, just not moving. And
from your perspective, can you tell whether or not the shooter had somebody targeted and was able to hit that particular person, or was he just randomly at that point shooting into a crowd?
From what I saw, it looked like a targeted attack. Assuming he meant to shoot the guy that came after him after everybody broke each other up. I'm assuming he got the target. Before I got home that night, I didn't even know that there was more than the 3 shots fired that I saw. After the 3 shots, I couldn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. I just ran.
Yeah, and a lot of people were running. And I know, and when I talked to the PIO this morning, I said, well, were some injured in the melee? Because there's a lot of stampedes when that happened. People are running. Mm-hmm. There were shoes scattered everywhere. Like, people ran out of their shoes to try and get away from the fire. But from the what was there more than one gunman?
I only saw the one. If there was another one, I didn't see anything. I just saw the one guy.
Yeah, because I know that some people, I was told, because a lot of, when there's a fight starting, people like to get out their cameras and videotape and, try to have that viral moment, which makes me sick, because when that happens, you should leave. That's my unsolicited advice to all you college students there. But if you get pushed into it, I mean, you couldn't help yourself. But I was told that
I could have done to get out.
Yeah.
So of there's, obviously a picture circulating around social media of 5 potential suspects that were involved in this. Do any of those 5, if you've seen the picture, do any of them look like the gunman that you were near?
I unfortunately didn't get a great look at the face. They had a hood up, but all I know is there was a black hoodie. The hood was up, so that narrows it down from the pictures. But I just don't have a. I don't have like a solid 100% sure.
You went to the Iowa City Police Department yesterday. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I stepped in. From what it sounds like, I'm one of the first people, if not the first person, to come out and talk about it with the police or anything like that. Standard questions. He asked me what I saw, what happened, had me describe the gun, all that stuff. And I got a number, so he said if I get anything else or see any other videos that aren't already public and online and stuff to reach out. So.
Are you still rattled? I mean, I don't want to ask you how you're feeling. Obviously, it was traumatic. And if you're 2 feet away from the gunshots and you couldn't hear, because guns are loud, folks. People don't realize that. But how are you doing?
I mean, I'm doing much better now. I think it might sound a little weird, but I think just talking about it helps out a little bit. I didn't really feel like queasy or anything until I got home, like over 20 minutes later. And I was just like, once I got inside, I just felt like I was going to throw up. But didn't sleep very well that night, but we're getting a lot better. It really only gets tough around bedtime. So,
do you think the suspects, the 5 that they showed the picture, do you believe they're University of Iowa students?
They look like the age. I don't know for sure. In Iowa City, we have people come in from out of town all the time. So I'm not 100% sure, but they're definitely like the younger age for a college student.
Yeah.
Was this part of your orientation response to gunfire and fighting?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Was this part of your orientation? Did you ever expect to be confronted with this, going to, a nice Midwestern city like Iowa? When you went to college?
No, not at all.
No,
I mean,
of course not. Yeah.
Like, I know this, I've heard about this stuff happening. It happens everywhere, unfortunately, but I mean, I guess I just never thought that I would be involved or even be this close.
Yeah. Do you know any of the other shooting victims? And I know you said that the shooter leaned across your shoulder and shot somebody 3 times. Was he unconscious? Was he responsive? Did he say anything?
No, I just saw a gun and shots. I never said or heard any words from him. I never heard any words from other people. It was just shots and then running.
Ethan, how does this leave you? I mean, how do you think about what's going on in society when crime, at least from our perspective in Chicago, it's fairly rampant? And I will tell my own story about something that occurred over the weekend to a friend of mine's daughter. But I mean, it feels like this generation is having to see so much crime in the open, on the streets, just everywhere. And I don't know, how does this make you feel overall? Yeah,
I mean, it's sad. I mean, you can't really go anywhere without crime now. And it's really unfortunate because as far as I know, like, I don't even know why the fight started. I don't know why it escalated that much. I mean, and I would like to think it wasn't that, like, over an issue that was that serious. It just escalated that far for no apparent reason.
Wow. Well, we're glad you're okay, Ethan. And is there anything else that you want to tell us that we might have forgotten to ask you?
Not really that I can think of.
Okay. Well, we know 3 of the 5 that were injured were students, according to the university president. And I know that some were injured who were just, walking around the Ped Mall because there was like 20 shots fired, apparently, allegedly. We have to say allegedly at this point, and that some innocent bystanders were hit. So, all right, Ethan, thank you so much for your time, and we'll stay in touch. And thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
Okay, God bless. All right, coming up on The Real Story, it happened quietly, Jeannie. On a late Friday afternoon, Adam Toledo's family has dropped their wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Chicago. We'll tell you why coming up.
They were going to lose.
Subscribe to the Real Story podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or at 560theanswer.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and Child Help is asking you to help them end child abuse in America. Through crisis counseling, prevention education, and the 24/7 Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline, children and families in the U.S. receive support when they need it most. Child Help's Child Abuse Hotline has full-time counselors helping children and teens during crisis situations. Every call answered, every child protected, and every family strengthened brings us one step closer to ending child abuse in the U.S. For just $27, you can save a child from abuse. Text the word Child Help on your cell to 94878. Then click the link to donate. That's CHILDHELP to 94878 and donate just $27 and save a child today.
The Stephanie Trussell Show speaks to the heart of where you live, work, and raise your family. Every week, Stephanie brings you the conversations that matter most, from our local neighborhoods to the halls of Springfield, covering the local issues and the real solutions. Stephanie sits down with the local leaders, candidates, and everyday heroes who are fighting to make Illinois a place you're proud to call home. Stephanie is your community, your voice. The Stephanie Trussell Show, heard Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. right here on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm alpine skier Michaela Schifrin. I've won the most World Cup ski races in history. But what does success mean to me? Success means discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us, and it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management firms in the country. If you're looking for success, surround yourself with the people who will get you there. If you're an advisor or investor, choose Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
AM 560, The Answer.
Just went to go sing. It's a show choir reunion. It turned into
I think
chaos.
that's a whole nother segment, Amy.
I know.
You and your show choir girls. What was their reaction to the shooting?
We'll talk about it a little later, because we're going to move on to something that happened that I think they were trying to make sure that this didn't make news, and that's the Adam Toledo wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Chicago. It was dropped on a Friday afternoon. If you want to do anything where you try and hide from the media, you do it on a Friday after 3 p.m. So with more on this, let's welcome to the programs Florian Schumpke. He's been in charge of the Chicago Contrarian, and we read your work all the time here at AM 560, and we're pleased to have you on the show. Hi, Florian.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good. So tell us what happened.
Unexpectedly on Friday morning, the attorneys for Toledo's family, the one attorney, I believe the lead attorney's name is Adina Weiss, walked into court and they voluntarily withdrew their lawsuit against the wrongful death suit against the city. This is just another bizarre development in a 5-year odyssey since Toledo was shot. The attorneys did not give an explanation for why they pulled the lawsuit, but they did emphatically state they had every intention of refiling at a later date. So it's just a very kind of a peculiar development given some of the events which have followed the shooting. I spoke to several attorneys, and we all seem to speculate the Toledo family, along with the attorneys, may have expected the city to settle by this point, and when it looked like it was headed into a courtroom, they decided to pull the lawsuit. So it shows there is some hope for the sue and settle racket, and I think public opinion is fairly strong in favor of this shooting on Stillman's side and with the city of Chicago.
Well, it seems to me that taxpayers dodged a bullet, because there's no doubt what these guys were after was money. And I think they figured out very quickly they're not going to get it. And good for the city for finally figuring this out and not just going to a settlement immediately. So I don't know. We need more of this, right?
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, the city has paid out And I think if you, in consideration of the strategy many of these civil rights law firms choose, is to ask for enormous sums of money, demand a court battle, and then hope for the city to approach and settle. And it's led to nearly $1 billion in settlements and tax dollars. And many of these cases, the city does not fight at all, and it's extremely costly. And I think in relation to this case particularly, there is all the evidence in the world. Eric Stillman absolutely fulfilled his legal duties when he pursued Adam Toledo down that alley in Little Village and shot him. First of all, there's a couple of points I'd like to make. First of all, Adam Toledo was out at 2:38 in the morning with a documented gang member, Reuben Roman. They were alerted to the spot where he was shot by ShotSpotter. They pursued Toledo down the alley. Toledo was armed, and he defied repeated lawful commands from Stillman to stop and drop the weapon. And unfortunately, he came to a break in the fence, dropped the weapon, and then raised his hands. And in that split second, to try to make it appear as if he was not armed. But unfortunately for Toledo, Stillman sadly had to resort to lethal force, and he was perfectly within the bounds of Illinois state law and Chicago Police Department policy when he fired. So, and I think the key point here, Jeannie, is when Toledo, even though Toledo raised his hands and he was unarmed for that split second, when this incident was carefully reviewed by the state's attorney's office, Tim Fox declined to bring charges against Stillman. So I think these factors have all played into the hands of the police department in the city, and why a consensus has developed where there's sympathy for Stillman and very little for the Toledo family.
Well, whatever happened to Reuben Roman, the elderly, not elderly, but he was, Adam Toledo was 13. He was hanging out with a man in his 20s at, all odds in the morning, all weird hours, I should say, in the morning. What happened to Reuben?
Reuben Roman is a documented gang member who, like you point out, very oddly had cultivated a friendship with a 13-year-old boy. But this is what I've referred to as kind of an apprentice period for Toledo. He had been lured into the glamour of gang life, and Reuben was kind of like his mentor. And they were out. They were allegedly shooting at cars on Kedzie Avenue. And I'd like to add, in the 2-week period prior to Adam Toledo being shot, there was a teenage girl who was shot in the head while she was driving in a car. So it's perhaps a gang initiation. But Reuben Roman was arrested. He was charged with, I believe, being shooting at cars, but there was no evidence to support he had actually pulled the trigger because Toledo had the gun. The charges were dropped. So for all I know, he's returned to the streets and picked up gang life again.
Well, for all we know, he'll be part of Arnie Duncan's violence prevention group now. Since he's qualified, right? But you know what I find kind of disgusting about all of this is the media reports on the Adam Toledo lawsuit and everything. And in fact, I'm looking at the Sun-Times article right now, and sure enough, what they show for their photo going along with the story that this lawsuit has been dismissed, and but we're going to bring it up again if we have to, and obviously he shouldn't have done a foot pursuit and all this other stuff. They don't say anything about Stillman's angle on this at all in the article. But what really is galling is what they are showing is the mural that's outside a small grocery store in Little Village neighborhood. And it's a mural of Adam Toledo with his, like it's his birthday day he died. And then it's got the Virgin Mary praying over him with doves all around flying. They have turned this guy into some sort of martyr. For street stuff, and that is disgusting.
Yeah, it's absolutely nauseating, and I think most of the developments which have occurred since Toledo was shot are part of a strategy to deflect from his gang membership. It was ShotSpotter's fault. According to the progressives, the gunshot technology which brought police to the scene is at fault. It's Stillman's fault because he shot Adam Toledo. it's the justice system's fault for picking on a 13-year-old boy or singling out a 13-year-old boy. And the images media has used, if it's not the picture of the mural off of Ogden, it's another picture of him smiling into a camera. But I've seen photographs from Facebook all over social media of him flashing gang signs and his nickname Little Homicide. So you have two different narratives here. Very clearly he was a member of a gang. So these images of him as a martyr with the Virgin Mary and the doves and the wings, like as if he's an angel, are utterly preposterous. And they're put up mainly by community activists who are known for their hostility for police.
Well, what about, tell us about Officer Eric Stillman and how Superintendent Brown saved him, if you can, real quick.
Stillman, we're still, it's a legal odyssey, which Stillman is still, his career is hanging in the balance. Brown was able to save him by saying, no, he should be suspended rather than dismissed from the force.
All right. Thank you so much, Florian Simkis from Chicago Contrarian. We'll be back after the break.
Alex Marlow explains what he sees for Iran.
I think Trump's initial plan is that Iran could potentially work with the United States of America to impose a toll. Iran could use some of the funds in order to rebuild their country and to move on to the next era in their governance, where they could perhaps be better, more polite players in the world economy and in the world community, which is so important to so many.
The Alex Marlow Show. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Iranian officials have sent mixed messages about potential peace talks with the U.S.
President Trump has dispatched his Vice President J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner to once again lead a delegation to Islamabad, Pakistan. But the big question is, will Iran show up? And the 2-week-old ceasefire expires on Wednesday.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. Now talks come as Tehran vows retaliation after the U.S. seized one of their ships in the Strait of Hormuz, blowing a hole through the engine room. In Shreveport, Louisiana, a man shot and killed 8 children, 7 of his own, and badly wounded their mother. State Senator Sam Jenkins told Fox 33.
I'm very concerned that we are not maybe keeping a closer track on people who have had some history of domestic violence.
The gunman fled and was later shot and killed by police. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon will bring partly sunny skies with a high temperature of 56. Tonight, expect clear to partly cloudy conditions with a low of 47. Tomorrow, anticipate a mix of clouds and sunshine along with breezy and warmer weather. There is a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm with a high reaching 76. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I'd been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldilocks, offering smart security systems to homes and businesses. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600.
AM 560. The Answer.
Well, Governor Pritzker was at this City Club of Chicago, rolling out his big build program because he's such a builder. Maybe he wants to make it sound like he's like Trump. So he comes up with his...
that's right.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. But they always have to have an acronym that makes them sound outstanding, like the Affordable Care Act, right? Which was not affordable. And so he's got his build program. And this is, by the way, how he wants to decry democracy, and say that it's dying under President Trump. Well, actually, he is becoming a dictator. And part of the reason he's becoming a dictator is because he wants this build program. And his build program, I'm reading from Capital News. Brendan Moore had the article out.
Okay.
Yes, the plan, among other provisions, would preempt local zoning laws by permitting multi-unit housing by right on most residentially zoned lots. It would legalize accessory dwelling units on all residentially zoned lots, expedite timelines for housing permit reviews and inspections, and standardize impact fees. So he wants to take all of your local zoning issues, local zoning laws, all of that, and he wants it at the state level. And only Pritzker gets to decide what gets built where.
312-642-5600. That's our phone line. You can also text us on that very same line. I have a challenge for him.
Okay.
Why don't we start with his home in the Gold Coast?
He has a second mansion, apparently. Have him tear it down and put up a 4-flat.
Well, right over the border in Free, Wisconsin. Yes, he went there a lot during COVID. They have a farm there, a beautiful place in northern or southern Wisconsin. So he can go there during the construction process. And then what do you want to do? Like a garden unit? What are we going with this? 4-flat, a 6-flat, and just make it Section 8 housing. He could lead by example here.
Well, I would love it. It's not going to happen. But here he is at City Club Chicago. Listen to the lie. We're going to cover this.
The national housing crisis feels especially acute in our state. Too many people are locked out of the American dream. We have, among us, motivated, qualified buyers, young families looking to build lives in their communities that simply can't find housing at a price that they can afford. Even as we now see our population increasing. Sorry, let me repeat that for all of you. Even as we now see our population increasing, the state of our housing market is limiting our ability to grow our economy.
Oh, so housing's limiting our ability to grow our economy. It's not taxes at all, right? And as far as population increasing, well, just not that long ago, Paul Vallis, right, in Illinois Policy Institute, totally debunked that. Governor J.B. Pritzker is spinning Illinois' population increase of 16,108 as proof his policies are working. It's nonsense.
Aren't those all illegals?
Yeah.
16,108?
Yeah, Paul
How many of there are here?
Yeah, Paul Vallis
legally?
says Illinois lost roughly 40,000 residents, and that decline was offset by an influx of about 45,000 migrants. Illinois remains one among the states with the highest domestic out-migration. Its demographic decline masked only by migrant arrivals as the great displacement accelerates under Pritzker. Illinois' continuing exodus reflects deep economic and social upheaval. The state is losing more affluent residents while gaining lower income ones through both interstate and international migration, a shift driven by so-called progressive policies. That's the truth about his abysmal, minimal 16,000 increase. I mean, we've lost 1.6 million people since 2000, and he calls this a population increase. You can't make it up. But it gets worse. Here's J.B. Pritzker. He continues on about what is the cause of the housing crisis.
I want to hear this from my betters.
Of course.
The problem that we face is a failure to create and build enough homes, due in part to restrictive regulations in local jurisdictions. Often that's rooted in a history of housing discrimination. That's not to say that people intend to have that be the case today, but it's just rooted in often lines of code that nobody's looked at for far too many years. And it prevents builders from building even small duplexes that prevent, and they also, these same regulations prevent accessory dwelling units from being offered on the market by their owners. That causes owners not to get the income that they want, that they could get to add to the income that they already have.
Okay,
and also, frankly,
so Amy, apparently your house now has to be an income-producing property in order for you to afford to live there. Okay, exactly. I'm not bragging, but I mean, my one son is 35. My other one is, my God, I got to do the math here.
It's like okay, you have 5 of them.
My other son is like, oh God, how old's Andrew? Mm-hmm. I can't remember.
I'm going to tell
He's
Andrew
like 29.
You don't know
He's
his
like 29 or whatever. Okay. All 3 of them married. All 3 of them own homes.
Great.
And the middle one owns 2. One is a rental. And I mean, come on. I mean, look, I don't, okay, I know it is hard to get a home, but it is still possible. It's like, what are these other people spending their time on? What are they doing with their money? What's going on? Come on. And so his plan is that your house has to be an income producing property. But you know, that's not what people said here. Okay, the Illinois Realtors last month ran a statewide survey, they commissioned it, about Governor Pritzker's Build Up Illinois Developments or Build Plan. Here's what they said. Nearly 60% polled said the issue of housing affordability should be one of the top priorities for legislators this year. 33% said it should be a mid-level priority, while only about 5% labeled it as a low priority or not a priority. However, there's some warning signs for supporters. When asked to identify up to 3 factors most responsible for housing costs, the runaway winner. Come on, you know what it is.
No.
The runaway issue for housing costs? Local property taxes.
See, there you go.
Local property taxes. The next closest was investors buying homes at 43%. Only 20% identified lack of housing construction. What the heck? And he's going to upend all of our local zoning rules, which, by the way, I mean, you go to Texas,
we're going to look like Houston.
Florida.
I was just going to say, are we going to look like Houston? Because you'll have a strip club next to a church, next to a home who has Russian gargoyles in front of it, next to a library. I mean, you've been to Houston,
terrible.
Right?
Yes.
Ooh.
Even Florida's
Not a big
bad.
fan of
I'm not a fan of Florida zoning in some areas. I mean,
got
give
a text message. Jeanne and Amy, all of the North Shore will be affected by the zoning changes, yet the majority of those same residents will still vote for Pritzker.
Yeah, and I kind of tend to disagree. I feel like there's somehow, some way that they will be able to insulate them so that the land, the underlying land that they want to do a 4-flat on or an apartment building on that's in the middle of a residential street, which would be a possibility under Pritzker's rules. It would be a possibility. I feel like the underlying land value would probably not be something that a builder would invest in. I feel like they would probably go to other areas. But you know what? You want to talk about a housing problem? Well, listen, the tenants around the Obama Center are up in arms. This is an ABC7 report just earlier in early March.
Some tenants at the Cheney Braggs apartment say they have been living here for decades and they worry that they will no longer be able to afford rent.
I want to stay right where I'm at. I don't want to be forced out. I don't want to be told I have to leave.
This rent is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Tenants at Cheney Braggs apartment worry their time living at this building is running out. The apartment building is on 65th and Stony Island in Woodlawn and is blocks away from the future Obama Presidential Center.
Since the Obama Center has been announced, we have been talking about how there's danger that the center will displace community members.
Tenants have formed a union and claim a prospective buyer out of California is looking to demolish or rehab the building. Changes that could come with a possible rent hike, which tenants say their current rent is at $700 to $800 a month for a one-bedroom.
$1,400 for a one-bedroom. I would be rent burdened if I had to pay $1,400 for a one-bedroom.
I mean, it's just sad. I mean, you talk about you're going to move these people out, then where are they going to go? Instead of protecting their land, you think that these are the types of people that he wants to be in an affordable house somewhere, and yet he's doing nothing to preserve the housing that they want to stay in where they've been for years.
And $1,400 a month? It's
ridiculous.
A lot of money.
I mean,
but the property values around the Obama Center are going to go up. Mm-hmm. They knew that when they put that place there. They knew damn well exactly what they were doing. And it's $30 to get in to go visit or to go into the library, which I thought that was pretty expensive too. I mean, they knew exactly what they were doing.
Well, you know, this article, Block Club Chicago talked about it. They say in this article that a potential buyer has made an initial offer of $2,000 per household to turn over their keys. One of the residents says that's downright disrespectful after being in there, spending several decades in the building. So, I mean, you want to talk about affordable
housing? And these are Southside residents that you want to keep in the South Side. They sound like hardworking. They pay their rent. They want to stay in their community.
I would say they're the Democrats' constituency, and yet he's going to push them out and instead say, go live in the suburbs in the middle of wherever. And that's fine. If they want to move there, I don't care. I just don't think that you should upend our local zoning laws at all. And and you're pushing people out of actual affordable housing. You're pushing them out.
But the fact that you have to have some type of second income in your home. What do I have to Airbnb out the basement?
Well, look here.
I'd be a super host.
Back to J.B. Pritzker.
Yes.
Here he is. He's in. Look, it's going to be every neighborhood. Here you go.
We're talking about a gentle increase in density. 2- and 3-flat apartments and granny flats, allowing for a few more units all across the state and welcoming a few more families and neighbors into our communities. City by city, town by town, neighbor by neighborhood, block by block. A little more housing in each area of the state can make truly a world of difference. I talked about 225,000 units that are needed. This will cover a whole big bunch of that need.
Well, back to the statewide survey commissioned by the Illinois Realtors. When told the plan could mean more crowding, more traffic, and more strain on parking in schools without the funding to handle it, 45% were less likely to support the plan versus 18% more likely to support it. Well, duh.
And what's this one called? The Big Beautiful?
No, it's the
building.
Build program.
The Build program.
Oh, gee, I don't see it here now. Sorry.
It's the
Build Up Illinois Development or something like that.
Well, who's a dictator now? Governor Pritzker. Who's the king now? Pritzker is with all this. And then,
hey, little update too, by the way, because it's sort of related to the same thing. I know we covered the HB 1429 bill, and I've been following that closely. I did a video on it on Friday and posted it. And that is the bill that would take all public spaces and make them available for a homeless encampment. And you couldn't do anything about it at all. You could, if the city wanted to remove anybody because there's an emergency, which means there's an imminent threat or risk of death or destruction of property or something like that, they would have to give them a 3-day notice to do so and then offer them all sorts of social services support and whatnot. Now, I looked in the budget. Okay, first of all, we already spent $27 million on a homeless prevention program. We spent another $90 million on emergency and transitional housing program. And that is just 2 of the many, many housing programs that we have for the homeless. Okay. And so, but
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And who's in charge of that?
Right. Exactly. So what that tells you is that all those programs have failed if you are actually, and 31 Democrats signed onto this bill to allow the homeless to occupy your public parks, your forest preserves, your parkways, your whatever, playgrounds. They signed on to this as a solution, but here's the good news. The bill did not pass out of the House, and it was deadlines for House bills to move out on Friday. It did not pass out of the House, and it was actually re-referred to rules, which is usually where bills go to die. So hopefully the bill is dead, but I would still encourage people to call.
312-642-5600. Let's take Sunny real quick in Lincoln Park. Good morning, Sunny. You're on The Real Answer.
Did
I say The Real Answer? I meant The Real Story.
I pass by all the time. And he has 3 stories there, and he could use each apartment to house people if he wanted to. And to add one last thing is his curtains for the last 5 years are really dusty. He's got to change them, believe me. But, you know, like your grandmother used to make, like doilies, huge doilies on the back of couches.
Yep.
That's what's looking like hanging in his front windows.
Oh, that's so funny.
The guy's totally slobbering. I can't believe it. Well, he resembles his weight. So.
Well, but he's losing weight, so maybe he'll change the curtain soon, but maybe he doesn't have time. Oh,
I think I'll put an apple pie in front of his house.
Yeah. So do you live in nearby?
Oh, yeah.
Live in the Gold Coast?
Yeah. And I got a painting for you guys that I got to reproduce, but it's going to cost me $140. So not this month, next month. It's 24 by 33, and it's Looney Tunes. And in the center, it's Mao. On the left, it's our last president, Biden. And on the right of is his vice president. And then all around, I got Pelosi, I got Obama, I got the rest of them, and sort of a cartoon shape, but it's pretty good.
Sounds intriguing. Very good.
Thanks, Democrats in my neighborhood don't like it at all.
Imagine not.
All right. Thanks, Sonny, for listening. Have a great week and stay in touch.
Well, we'll be back, and we want to update you on a few stories. The CTU May Day extravaganza, Oswego 308 does basically an apology for their program, which was considered racist.
I love apologies, Jeannie.
Yes, I know.
We'll have it all coming up after this break.
This is the show that the Chicago Press Corps and the Democrats in Springfield don't want you to hear. It's The Real Story on AM 560. The Answer.
If stairs in your home are becoming difficult, there's a practical solution, and it doesn't have to come with pushy salespeople. Access provides dependable stair lifts designed to help you stay safely in the home you love. No gimmicks, no overselling, just honest guidance, quality equipment, and professional local installation. We'll explain your options, work within your budget, and let you decide what's right at your pace. For a straightforward, no-pressure, free in-home consultation, call 616-6249 or visit allaboutaccess.com.
Your financial future deserves more than just a financial strategy. It deserves a dedicated resource. Meet Michelle Shute with West Point Financial Group, a Mass Mutual firm. With almost 2 decades of experience, Michelle builds lifelong relationships, guiding families through legacy strategies from grandparents down to grandkids, helping people secure their financial independence. Michelle Shute is focused on needs, not just numbers, and that means retirement planning, life insurance, and estate planning strategies. Whether preparing for college, retirement, or protecting your business, Michelle's needs-based approach helps you prepare for life's biggest moments. Start building your financial future today. Call Michelle at 224-499-3665. That's 224-499-3665. Michelle Shute of West Point Financial Group, helping you earn, learn, and secure your tomorrow. Local firms or sales offices of Massachusetts Mutual Life Insurance Company, Mass Mutual, Springfield, Massachusetts, 01111-001, and are not subsidiaries of Mass Mutual or its affiliated companies. Michelle Shute is a registered representative of and offers securities through MML Investor Services, LLC, member SIPC. Supervisory office located at 30 South Wacker Drive, Suite 2700, Chicago, Illinois, 60606.
I remember sitting in the kitchen, heartbroken, overwhelmed, staring at costs and a list of decisions. I prayed for strength and reached out to Catholic Cemeteries of Chicago, only to hear that Mom had already pre-planned everything so my siblings and I would be protected. Because she planned ahead, we weren't pulled apart by heartbreaking decisions.
Visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org or call 708-236-5407 to schedule a free consultation.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Jeannie, I love apologies here on The Real Story, where you get the real story. What happened in Oswego?
Well, the school put out a very lengthy article, statement, actually press release about their summer programming and explained in detail who was, why they selected certain students to get these letters saying, hey, we have spaces for you if you want some extra learning. And so they had to, no choice, because we had parents complaining about it.
Oh, yeah.
That was racist, right?
What they're doing, they're offering a remedial summer help to all minority students. So even if you're white, you couldn't attend. If you're white and had bad grades and needed this remedial summer program, sorry, they just wanted minorities. And Phil Torres, who's a father of a daughter who's in advanced classes at Hunt Club Elementary School, and she's been doing very well, straight A's. And he got an invite because she's a minority. And that's when it hit him, they're treating me differently because I'm a minority.
That hurts. Excuse me. I fight for my kids, and I fight against stereotypes. I have 3 degrees myself. I'm the first in my family to graduate college. And for them to do this, it opens up old wounds. And it hurts that if that's what they use, that anybody that's non-white is at risk.
Well, this whole story went viral. Chicago media picked it up, even though it's Oswego 308. And so Superintendent Dr. Andalib Kelgadi.
Better you than me, sister, and pronouncing that name.
I'm just as bad as you, Amy. It doesn't matter. Okay. He issued a follow-up letter. He acknowledged that the generalized invitation process, which targeted all non-white students, fell short of the district's values. The superintendent emphasized that the intent was to reach federally defined educationally disadvantaged groups, but admitted the execution lacked proper context. No kidding. Yeah, so that was what they were about there.
So that's their form of an apology.
Yeah.
All right, well, apparently win one for the parents.
Yeah, they're going to revisit with their equity and language training. How about get rid of equity and language training? How about just open it up?
Save yourself some money.
And, and again, I just like to remind people, like we did this, when we talked about the story, honestly, they had 50% of their kids needed math support. 50% of them weren't at grade level in math.
So maybe the whole school should just go to the summer school program.
Yeah, I wanted to, though, quickly mention, and we don't have much time on this, but so CPS signed a joint agreement with CTU to transform May 1st into a day of civic engagement, student voice, and standing up for the White House's attacks on our school communities.
Well, there's going to be in-person learning, but it's optional. You could still go outside and march with your teacher if you want.
So their plan is before school rallies and walk-ins, 9 to 12, civic engagement lessons and activities. I'd probably making, anti-eyes posters for kindergartners. And then at 1 p.m., a rally at Union Park. That's their plan right now.
Well, they better have permission slips out for parents to form or to sign. I mean, if they want their kids to attend that.
Well, Stacey Davis Gates isn't leaning away. She's leaning in, of course. And she wrote an op-ed in Chicago Tribune very quickly here. And this is what she wrote. In imagining our city's future, there's one institution at the heart of what happens next. Chicago Public Schools. They are where families gather for football, quiz bowls, yearbook layouts, school photos, report card day, recitals, dances, proms. And now, activist day of training.
Oh, my God.
She didn't write that. That was my editorial comment.
All right. Thank you so much for making us part of your morning. Have a wonderful afternoon. God bless, and God bless America.
On Salem News Channel, principled voices are shaping today's conversation.